Welcome to episode 20 of Land the Plane podcast.
Jonathan, where's the intro music?
I'm not real sure.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's Christmas. Land the Plane podcast. Coming at you hot. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a Christmas special episode of Land the Plane podcast. My name is Dustin.
I'm Jonathan.
And we are excited to be back with you. We've been enjoying a little bit of a holiday break. But
Sounds like we've been enjoying a little too much.
We were having a good time, Jonathan. I like the new intro music. I was feeling it, man. But we are excited. It's been a while since we had a new show come out. It's been about a month, but we are excited to be back with you celebrating Christmas. This will be our one and only show this month. We're taking time like everybody else, just enjoy the holidays and remember what the season's all about. We hope you are doing the same.
That's right.
But Jonathan, how you been doing, man?
Man, doing well. We had a couple of things at the church's Christmas program, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Went really, really well. It was awesome. And got some other things planned. Already been at a few parties and things like that. Gonna do some stuff at an elementary school tomorrow.
Nice.
Taking pictures with Santa and all those kind of things.
The season is in full swing.
Just one of Santa's helpers.
Yeah, there you go.
You know.
Yeah. He's a busy man.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun. We've been having a good time, too, and just enjoying family, enjoying the holidays, Christmas lights. I like going around looking at lights and doing all that kind of stuff.
You know, it doesn't seem like as many people do lights anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, and I get it, because, we don't.
Yeah, I know. I drove to your house.
To,
it was just so dark and dreary.
It's dreary. Could be weather in Arkansas.
My house,
right
on
now.
the other hand, has plentiful lights on it.
Really?
Yes.
So I need to come by and check it out.
You do. Let me know you're coming, though, so I'll plug them in. Because sometimes I forget to plug them in. It doesn't make it very exciting, but hey, what can you do?
Buy a timer.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Hey, who has that much energy? No, hey, we got a fun show lined up for you tonight. It's kind of we're just going to have some good times, some laughs, hopefully, and hopefully you have a good time, and you can share this episode with your children and family and just have a good old Christmas time. So before we get started, Jonathan, because I know you got a story you want to share, but before we do, I want to give a shout-out to a friend of mine. His name is Mark. We grew up when we were young lads back in Haskell. As we were best friends. We ran the neighborhood together, did those types of things. Rode bikes together, played ball, ate too many Doritos, all those types of things. And his grandmother passed away the other day. She was 105 years old.
Oh, wow.
That's what I was told. I didn't realize that was her age, but yeah, 105. And so I just want to give just a shout out to that family, partially because I found out he was a listener of the show. So that was really awesome to find out, one of your old classmates is a fan of the show. So, Mark, hey, out there thinking about your family, praying for you. And thanks for listening and being part of it, man. It's been too long. Got to catch up sometime. So our moms are still neighbors. It's pretty cool. So I just wanted to say that to Mark real quick.
Well, shout out to Mark. Well, hey, Mark, thanks for being a fan. Thanks for being a listener.
There you go. Now, Jonathan, you've been telling me that you have a story that you wanted to share with our listeners tonight. And you've been known to be quite the storyteller on this show, so I am curious, and I'm fired up to hear what it is.
Well, I hope I haven't set it up too much.
I got him on the edge of the seat for you, man, so bring it home.
All right, so you've heard of John Crist, right?
Yeah.
Comedian, got really famous doing Instagram videos, YouTube videos, those kind of things. Mm-hmm. If you've never heard him, listener out there, you need to look this guy up.
Check him out. It's got some good stuff.
John Crist. And so anyway, he came to Little Rock. We got tickets for it. My family bought that for my birthday. And so I took a friend of mine, Robert, to the show. And we get into the show. We get there about 15 minutes before it starts. And we have to go up to the balcony area because it's just general admission seating. So we go up to the balcony looking around, finally get a seat kind of in the second level, kind of on a wing around the outside edge,
Mm-hmm.
So we sit down and kind of sitting there. It's about 5-6 minutes before the show starts. And we start looking around and right down, like right in front of the stage, like 6-7 rows back, 5-6 rows back, there's several places where there's room for 2 or 3 people,
Yeah. So you thinking about the old switch the seat?
Yeah,
I can hear it.
Why not?
Yeah.
'Cause, it's general admission, just go sit down. And I'm thinking that it's, people kind of coming in either in a group of 3 or 4 people, something like that, or they just come in and look and it's, man, this is packed. There's no way that there's seats. But from up here in the balcony, we can spot the seats that are empty. Mm-hmm. So he looks over at me and I'm looking at him. I'm like, hey, man, let's go try. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we got to lose? So we keep going down the side level of the balcony, and it eventually just goes all the way down to the ground floor. So we end up basically walking directly in front of the stage, across the middle of the stage, walk back like 6 aisles, and there's some people sitting kind of on the end, and we just ask, hey, are those seats taken? Nope.
Nice.
Cool.
Good
so we
seats.
just go in, sit down, we kind of go over towards the middle, and we're literally like 6 rows off the stage, almost dead center. Okay. And so I'm thinking, man, these are awesome seats, and who would have thought, except for we went up to the balcony. Well, I realized I didn't have my phone. I had pulled my phone out of my pocket and set it down next to me while we were in the balcony.
Oh, so it's still up there.
It's still up in there in the balcony.
Oh.
So I'm like, man, I got to go get my phone because it's, it's a Christian concert, but the phone's going to be gone,
Yeah, sure.
So I walk out, and instead of walking across the stage and up because the show's about to start, I just walk out of the back doors, walk upstairs, go to the balcony, get my phone, come back downstairs, and walk in from the back instead of from the stage like we got there. So show is started by the time I get back to my seat. I notice when I come into the seat where my friend's sitting, that on the end of the pew, it says reserved. Not on the end, but kind of on the back of the pew. So coming from the stage, walking backwards.
You didn't see it?
Couldn't see it. But
Okay.
walking back down that way, I could see there was a reserve sign just kind of hanging on the back of that pew. It's like, well, okay. But
The
there's
show
nobody
started.
there, and we asked, and all that kind of stuff, and the show started. No big deal. So we go over. I would go back in, sit down in my seat. Then I look over at the person that's sitting next to me, like on the other side of my friend, or the other side of me from my friend, and I notice that she's wearing a lanyard with like a pass looking kind of thing. I don't know.
The lanyard.
It's lanyard, and stuff. And then I look on the other side of my friend, and the people that are sitting over there that let us in are wearing a lanyard and a badge.
Starting to make more sense when it's reserved.
And then I start looking up in front of us, and everybody has a lanyard and a badge. Look kind of across into a different aisle than we are, but the first 5-6 rows. Lots of lanyards and lots of badges, except me and my friend.
But you're in there, man.
Yeah, so we're sitting there. So anyway, I kind of nudge him, and I'm like, dude, I'm not sure what happened, but I think we're in like reserved seating or something. I didn't even know that they had, like premiere tickets or something like that. And so he kind of looks around, and I look around, and we're like, so we kind of sit back in our pew and fold our arms across our chest to kind of hide the fact that we're not wearing lanyards.
Maybe you have a lanyard, maybe you don't.
Maybe so.
I mean, who knows?
But the cool thing is, and what he pointed out was, hey, you know what? This is a Christian concert. So even if we're not supposed to be sitting here, they probably feel bad about making us move. So did we
Probably
sit there?
not.
Yeah, probably not. We sit there and we watched the whole concert. And afterwards I was talking to him, and he, like we were kind of both constantly thinking at any point somebody's going to come up and tell us to move, But it never happened. We watched John Christ, and then there's some other comedians that are with him. Mike Goodwin, I believe is his name. Man, he was hilarious. He was there, and if he ever listens to this podcast, he'll totally get why I say this, and anybody that was at that show will get why I say this way. But he's a black comedian, so you need to look up John Goodwin.
I'm gonna check him out.
Mike Goodwin. Mike Goodwin.
Goodwin. Okay.
See if you can find the joke that's talking about. Anyway. Okay. So, yeah, man, we got to watch the whole thing, 6th row. I found out later those tickets were $75 a pop.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you were a VIP.
We were VIPing.
Yeah, so that's great, man. I'm glad it was a good show, even though you stole somebody's seats. I mean,
well, no, we didn't steal their seats.
I mean, if you don't feel guilty about that at all, I mean, that's great.
No, I don't.
No,
awesome. I think it was awesome. We just kind of accidentally ended up in the VIP section and got to watch John Crist.
I thought he was going to be like that old comedian Gallagher. Do you remember that guy? He used to smash watermelons.
I
thought maybe you were fixing to get like hosed with some.
Yeah,
some
if you're in the front 5, 6 rows there, they give you ponchos.
Yeah, so I didn't know if that was going to be happening to you. Yeah. Or maybe you're going to be pulled up on stage or something.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is, if you're gonna like crash the VIP section, do it at a Christian concert.
Dude, what if he would have noticed? What if the comedian John Crist would have noticed you didn't have a lanyard on and called you out?
I thought about that.
That would have been
because
fantastic.
I think he probably would, because it would be hilarious. Just because of the fun, And after he did it, he may have like kind of apologized, and not really, but maybe that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But just for the sheer funny of the whole situation, yeah, I kept my arms crossed most of the concert.
As long as you enjoyed it, I mean, as long as it didn't take away your joy.
No, not at all. It ended up. It was just funny.
Yeah.
That it happened. But no, very very good. He's a good comedian.
I'm gonna check him out one day, but I didn't get an invite. Okay, next on to the next game. Just messing. All right, we have a fun activity for you tonight, Jonathan. I've developed a game for you to play because you
can't win games ordinarily, so you have to make up one.
Always believe that you win the games, and so this game is totally about you. I'm not even playing. I'm just the host. All right. So this game is totally about you, and there is a consequence.
To win, I have to beat myself.
You have to be smart.
I have to be smart?
Yeah, you have to be a little smart. Because last show, we talked about Christmas a little bit, and you said you love Christmas. Like it was your favorite time of the year.
You're using my words against me.
Yes, I am. Like
Way to go, politician on me.
So this is a trivia game, Jonathan, because you're a smart guy.
Okay, C.
No, it is multiple choice. Okay, and there's 8.
C.
There's 8 questions.
Okay.
All right, you have to get 5 out of the 8 correct to win.
Okay, C.
Okay, I even asked you a question. Just calm down. Okay, there is a consequence though. There's a prize. If you win, if you get 5 of the 8, then I have to pay the consequence. But if you don't get 5 correct, then you have to pay the consequence.
No.
Yes. Yes. These are the rules, Jonathan. I don't make these things up.
Yes, you did.
You did. This is what the rules are.
You made up the rules.
Okay, the consequence, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it is.
Okay.
If you lose, if you don't get 5 right, you have to record yourself singing a Christmas carol.
Okay.
And post it on social media, like on the Land the Plane pages.
Okay.
Facebook.
Like Facebook Live
Instagram
kind of thing?
Yeah, something like that.
Instagram.
It has to be like a minute,
Yeah.
That's to sing the song that I choose.
No.
Yes.
No.
If you get 5 of the 8 correct,
then I have to choose.
You choose a song for me, and I'll sing it.
Baby, it's cold out.
Controversy for no reason. All right. So, are you ready?
Sure, man.
Do you understand the rules?
Oh, yeah. I mean, but I'm sure you'll make them up as we go along anyway.
They're written down. The answers are here. I'm going to make sure nobody's behind me cheating or anything. So, some of these are easier than others.
Yeah.
But I'm confident in you. I think you can pass. All right, here we go. Y'all can play along at home. All right. Question number 1. Let me make sure I keep score here. What beverage company has been using Santa Claus in its advertising since 1931?
I'll go with Coca-Cola.
A, Pepsi, B, Coke, C, Dr. Pepper, or D, Eggnog R Us?
Whatever Coke was.
Oh, I need the letter, Jonathan, if you want this to be official.
B.
B, Coke is correct, Jonathan. See? This is easy.
Bam. 1.
Okay. 1 for 1. Okay. Question number 2. What Christmas carol does the Peanuts gang sing at the end of A Charlie Brown Christmas?
I should totally know that.
Is it A, Joy to the World, B, O Little Town of Bethlehem, C, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, or D, The Little Drummer Boy? I can't repeat. C?
Sure.
Hark the Herald Angels Sing?
Yeah.
That is correct, Jonathan. 2 for 2, man.
Bam!
I hope I don't start sweating over here. I don't want to have to sing the song. Okay. I'll get a little more challenging for you. What is the most popular ornament used to place at the top of the Christmas tree? Is it A? Are you fixing to say that? A,
I was going to say star.
Angel. B, star. C, Santa Claus. Or D, lightsaber.
Well, it ought to be D.
It ought to be. But
Star or an angel?
Getting a little nervous now.
I'm going to go with the star.
Star, that's B. I'm sorry. That is incorrect.
It's an angel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an angel.
Yeah.
You went away from.
I mean, it's 2018. When did you look this up?
I don't know, 1954. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, this was recent. Okay, I didn't make any of this up. Internet told me these things. All right?
So it's absolutely accurate.
Yes, 100%. You just missed your first one.
Yeah.
You can only miss
two,
three
two
altogether. Okay.
I can miss 4.
No, you got to
right?
get 5 out of
I got
8.
5?
You have to get the majority. In the TV special,
Baby, it's cold out.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas, what 3 words best describe the Grinch?
Stink, stank, stunk.
Is it A, stink, stank, stunk, B, stink, stank, skunk, C, stink, stank, slunk, or D, stink, stank, sunk?
Stink, stank, stunk.
Stink, stank, stunk. Okay. That's correct, Jonathan. All right, you're 3 for 4 right now. Okay.
He's a mean one.
Question 5. In the 1964 classic Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Well, we can't be talking about that.
Why not?
Because it's not appropriate or something.
Rudolph?
Right? Yeah.
Just because all his friends are bullies?
Bullies and stuff.
Yeah, no, It's fine. 1964 classic Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. What was the name of Rudolph's faithful elf companion?
I have no idea.
Was it A, Hermie, B, Henry, C, Harmy, or D, Todd Jacobian? For y'all that don't know who Todd Jacobian is, it's a local meteorologist that looks just like his elf companion. So, what do you think? A, Hermie, B, Henry, C, Harmy, or D, Todd Jacobian?
I'm going to go with A.
A, Hermie?
Sure.
That's correct. Gosh. Dude, you already got 4 right. You're
I got 4 right?
Yes.
I just got to get 1 more?
Yes. You're better at this than the people I tested this on. Okay. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. What was the name of the magician with the magic hat in the 1969 TV special Frosty the Snowman? Oh, no. Was it Professor Dinkle, Professor Hinkle, Professor Finkel, or Black Bart?
Hinkle.
Dang it. You know, I'm a little upset right now. We're going to finish the quiz. Nobody talking to me.
I had no idea.
Are you serious? You got it right. It's Hinkle, man. Dang, you're a good guesser. Okay, looks like I'm singing the song, but we're going to keep going.
So what's it feel like when you make up the rules yourself and you still lose?
You know.
Anyway, moving on.
The listeners are probably happy I'm the one doing the singing anyway.
That's probably true.
Okay, we're going to let you finish this.
Unless it was like a Barry Manilow song.
Oh, my gosh. You do get to pick. Okay, number 7. We're going to go ahead and finish because these two are interesting. Okay. I was hoping you'd get to these 2 because these are interesting. 2 of the reindeer are named after weather phenomenon.
Comet.
Which 2 are they?
A weather phenomenon.
A, Comet and Cupid. B, Donner and Blitzen. C, Dasher and Blitzen, or D, Comet and Dasher?
Well, a comet is not a weather phenomenon. So say those again.
Comet and Cupid.
No.
B, Donner and Blitzen.
Okay.
C, Dasher and Blitzen, or D, Comet and Dasher?
Donner and Blitzen.
Yeah, that's right. Do you know what they mean?
No.
It means thunder and lightning.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Isn't that
So
fascinating?
they were fast.
Yeah, they were thunder and lightning, dude, just like my arms. Thunder and lightning, that's what I call them. Because they're so powerful. It's thunder and lightning. All right. Okay, last question, and you really did well, Jonathan. I'm impressed. In what country are Christmas trees decorated with spiders? Is it A, Iceland, B, Nigeria, C, Brazil, or D, the Ukraine?
I was waiting on Transylvania.
I did think about putting that one in there.
That would have thrown me.
But you're thrown anyways.
Yeah, I'm thrown anyway. What are they again?
Iceland, Nigeria, Brazil, or Ukraine?
Brazil.
Trees decorated with spiders.
Brazil.
That is incorrect. You have to sing the song. Just thought I'd try to slip that in there.
What country was it?
It was Ukraine.
The Ukraine.
The Ukraine. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
So if we got any Ukraine listeners out there, send us an email. We'd
As
love to
to why
hear.
you decorate with spiders.
We would love to know.
Because I don't get it.
All right, so you got
All right, so
6 out of
what
8.
that means is that I get to pick a Christmas carol for you to sing.
Yeah.
Baby, it's cold.
You're going to get me in trouble, man. You're going to get me banned from the internet.
All right, I have to think about it.
Yeah, you think about it. It'll be a surprise. It'll come out sometime between this show release and Christmas.
Right, yeah.
It'll show up. Make sure you're following our Facebook page, Instagram. It should be a beautiful thing. You know I ain't going to do it simple. It's going to be an event.
Well, that goes without saying.
If I have to do it, so.
Yep.
Anyways, well.
Hey, good game.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
game.
Podcast over. Go
Good
home.
game. I enjoyed that. That was fun.
So, took the wind right out of me. I tested that on like 3 people, and they all failed, Jonathan.
And I got to admit, there was several of them I had no idea.
You just guessed.
I just guessed. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Everybody, I need some encouragement.
Hinkle being one of them. It just sounded right.
You seem so confident, though.
It just sounded right.
All right. Well, let's move on. This is old news.
This is all stunky.
If anybody would like to take my place or come sing with me for my song, I'll take backup singers. No sweat.
Now, that would be, you know what we ought to do?
What's that?
Is if we could get some listeners to, like, once we decide on what song, okay, then get some listeners to send in their version of them singing that song, and then like we maybe can like mash it all together or something. Mm-hmm. That'd be fun.
So on that, y'all sing with me.
Yeah.
On the comments, like put your own video.
Yeah,
Sing.
once we throw the show out there, like in the show notes or something, we'll it's
the last thing I want you to do is think
post
about
out
it
there. Okay.
All right. Well, hey, it's Christmas. And now that that's over and I'm depressed, we can move on to the holidays. So what we thought we'd do today is we thought it'd be fun because we want to talk to you about the true meaning of Christmas, what Christmas is all about. You know, we wouldn't be doing the show. We wouldn't be doing what we do if we didn't talk about that for Christmas. So we are going to go to Luke chapter 2 in the Bible. If y'all want to grab your Bibles and follow along, you can. But that's the old school, not I say old school, it's the traditional storytelling of Jesus and his birth and what happened. So we're going to bring that to you today, and we're hopefully going to hit you with some extra stuff, like maybe some things you hadn't thought of, or maybe some things you didn't know about the story, or just some cool little tidbits of information.
Yeah, it's like behind the scenes of the Christmas story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going behind the story within the story.
Yeah. And if there's tons of things in here that we're not going to be able to cover, obviously.
Right.
But if there's something in the Christmas story that you guys out there think, hey, I know this part, like a behind the scenes thing, shoot that in the comments or email us, those kind of things. That'd be interesting to see, interesting to read.
You bet. And you've heard the story probably. If not, here you go. It's the first time to hear it. But if you have heard the story, and maybe you hear it at Christmas time, or you hear at church or something like that this time of year, or maybe you read it you have the opportunity now that maybe you can use a little bit of this information to impress all the friends around you. That's what we're here for. Help you look cool at the Christmas party, right, Jonathan?
That's right.
That's right. So Luke chapter 2, and Jonathan, you just stop me at times. I'll stop myself at times, and we'll talk about this. All right?
Okay.
So, like I said, Luke chapter 2, I used the ESV version here, but it says verse 1, it says, in those days...
Whoa, stop. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I thought there was something... those days. I thought you wanted to describe those days.
Go ahead.
In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration when Quirinius, I'm not good at pronouncing these words.
Wow.
Quirinius was governor of Syria.
Okay, stop.
See,
Why would they put that in there?
That's a good question, Jonathan.
I mean,
They kind of want you to give some,
especially, and even it says in those days.
In those days, yeah.
What days?
In the days of our lives. No, they're trying to give us a reference of kind of when this story was taking place.
Yeah, time frame. Awesome. Mm-hmm. So we've got the when.
We've got the when. Starting to get the where, but anyway.
Verse 3.
Verse 3. And all went to be registered, each to his own town. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem. Because he was of the house and lineage of David.
Mm-hmm. Stop.
That old biblical name, David.
David. What's David got to do with it?
King David?
Yeah.
David and Goliath? That David?
That David. The most famous David of all.
Yeah. I say that just so people understand. It is that David. It's the David you know about from the Old Testament.
Throw out a Christmas pun and you didn't even get it.
Did you?
The most famous David of all.
That's not a Christmas pun.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the famous... Anyway.
He wasn't King Rudolph. He was King David. Anyways, so
we
King
were talking
David.
about Moscow. Might have been King Rudolph.
So, Jonathan, tell him why it was important to mention that this was the house. Joseph was of the house and lineage of David.
So, back in David's time, when David was a king over Israel, God made a promise to him, a covenant with him, that through his lineage, through him, and his not ancestors but descendants, that's the other word, that the whole world would be blessed. And so it was what they refer to as a messianic prophecy. It's a prophecy about the Messiah, that it would that he would come through the lineage of David. So we see that Joseph was of the lineage of David.
He was the connection.
Yeah.
It kind of,
Sort of.
some of the big names is Abraham, skip a few, David, skip a few, Jesus. I mean, that's all connected that way. I mean, I'm just trying to break it down for everybody. So, so it isn't that it
1,
fulfills that
2,
prophecy.
skip a few.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, so because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. I'm going to stop this right there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's
stop.
an important point.
We need to stop.
His betrothed.
Betrothed.
That means...
You are my betrothed.
I guess.
Well, you're not.
No, I hope not. I'm already married. But talking about they were, engaged. I don't know if that's maybe the closest
It's
word.
the closest thing that we
use. But they were put together to be married. They had not been married yet. They were not married yet, but she was with child. That child is Jesus. Okay?
And maybe do you think we ought to go backwards a little bit and talk about that a little bit?
Go back in time.
Yeah, let's go back in time.
Okay, so if you go back over to we just took the time machine, and we're going back to Luke chapter 1. Almost went all the way back to Genesis. We almost stayed in the time machine too long. Luke chapter 1, it talks about Mary and her being visited by an angel. So we start at verse 26. It says, in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph. So there's that word betrothed again. So,
Right.
and it also stresses that she was a virgin, okay? So of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And he came to her and said, Greetings, O favored one, the Lord is with you. But she was greatly troubled at the saying, and tried to discern what sort of greeting this might be. And the angel said to her, Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And behold, you will conceive in your womb, and bear a son, and you shall call his name Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. And the Lord God will give to him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over the house of Jacob forever. And of his kingdom there will be no end. So, she was visited by Gabriel, the angel, and said, You're going to be with child. And that was before. She was a virgin, so she never lay with a man before. And she was already betrothed to Joseph. It has already been decided. And she was going to have this baby. So.
Yeah. And to the point that, I mean, they were married enough, that sounds weird, that to actually call off the wedding would have almost been like a writ of divorce. I mean, it was like it wasn't just an engagement. It was, this is happening,
She would have actually been shunned, right? If he would have called off the marriage because she was pregnant.
And when the angels come to Joseph, which won't go over there and go through that, but the angel did go to Joseph and say, hey, don't be afraid to take Mary as your wife. And he actually thought about putting her away secretly. Mm-hmm. And that the reason he would have done that was to help her save face, to not ridicule her, those kind of things. Because
we all know when you're pregnant, you're going to start showing at some point, right?
Yes.
And they're going to be like, hey.
I have every time.
But they're going to be like, hey, you're not married. What's going on? And, and then there's been a lot of questions asked and a lot of difficult situations, especially for Joseph. So it's important to know that she is already pregnant at this time with Jesus. But Joseph stayed committed. He knew what was going on, and he stayed committed to what was happening and stuck with it. So,
and can you imagine? I mean, one, you're married, and what has to happen, and it hasn't, but you're pregnant. I mean, that's got to be like a whole different level of, huh? I mean, I just think about that, But then on the other side, think about Joseph, because you got to trust that what the angel has said and what Mary is telling you and all those kind of things. I mean, there had to be a level of trust there between them already. And,
for sure.
This was a much thicker, stickier situation than if the same had kind of happened today.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just say that.
Yeah, for sure. And, Mary was young.
Yeah.
I mean, she was young. So it wasn't like, she was, it's a difficult situation for sure. And, so we pick up on verse 6. And it says, And while they were there, the time came for her to give birth. So as they traveled, they went to Nazareth. Bethlehem. And they get there and they traveled there, which is it's a pretty good travel. It wasn't just like, 15 minutes down the road. And then she gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling cloths and laid him in a manger because there was no place for them in the inn. Okay, so we hear about that part of the story a lot. Baby, you see the manger scenes all the time. You see what's going on. You see Joseph, Mary, baby Jesus on the hay. What is that, how did that really look specifically at that time?
Right.
I think there's some difference of opinions or a difference of interpretation of what it really looked like.
Yeah, what that could have looked like, what it might have been, all those kind of things.
But I think the important thing to know is there was a place that they could have potentially stayed,
right.
But there was no room there. There was no room for them to stay there, so they had to be. They weren't in the comforts and the normalcy of a place.
Yeah, that inn manager has gotten a bad rap.
Yeah.
For thousands of years.
Yeah, it's not like he just kicked them out and didn't want anything to do with them. It was a situation there where it was full. And as a side note, it makes it extra, especially when you hear about the story, because of the amount of women that died during childbirth at these times and stuff. Didn't have the medicine and the hospitals and all these things that we have now. So there was also those challenges.
Yeah,
But
they had goats looking over them.
yeah, taking care. Instead of a midwife, it was a goat. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
But okay, so they're there, and then one thing I read about this that was interesting, talking about the inn, talking about the place that they were to go, and it was neat because there's a certain word that's used right here. It was a Greek word, and that they translated here, and it's only used in one other place in the Bible, and it's at the Last Supper, where
And that word actually it can mean guest room.
yeah, guest room, like an exterior room of a house or something like that, and it's used only again at the time of the Last Supper, which is when Jesus and his disciples, right before crucifixion, right before he was arrested, and all those things, they had went and they observed the Last Supper together, and it was in a room similar to what they were doing here.
Right. So it would have had the same Greek word was used.
Yep.
That's what you're saying.
The same description.
And it's the only time
the only two times it said it was used
is in those two, the guest room here and the guest room there.
Yeah.
And you remember how did he get to the guest room at the Last Supper? You remember that story?
I do. I happen to have it marked right here for you. So I'm going to read this to you because it's really fascinating. It says, this is all the way, you jump over to like Luke 22, starting with verse 7.
Instead of 2, it's 22.
Ooh.
Things that make you go,
Okay, so verse 7. Then came the day of unleavened bread on which the Passover lamb has to be sacrificed. So Jesus sent Peter and John, saying, Go and prepare the Passover for us, that we may eat it. They said to him, Where will you have us prepare it? He said to them, Behold, when you have entered the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him into the house that he enters, and tell the master of the house. The teacher says to you, Where is the guest room where I may eat the Passover with my disciples? And he will show you a large upper room furnished. Prepare it there. And they went and found it just as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover.
Yeah, so what basically just happened was Jesus was like, you know what? When I was a baby, they didn't have room for me. They're going to have room for me now.
That's right.
Like, I'm making sure there's room in the inn.
Yep.
And he went about...
We're having dinner.
Like, this ain't happening twice, guys. This is not happening twice.
Yeah.
So he kind of goes out of his way to make sure that he's got a guest room to have the Last Supper. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really fascinating because it's like, as he entered the world, it's like, we don't have room for you. But before he exits, it's almost like he's going back to that beginning. It's almost like, it's like a little bit of circle of what he came here for. Now he's back. Yeah, it's really neat.
It's pretty cool. I like that.
Fancy. Okay, so baby Jesus has been born in the manger. And so we go to verse 8, and it says, In the same region where there were shepherds out in the field keeping watch over their flock by night, and an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were filled with great fear. And the angel said to them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people.
I think we should stop right there.
Yeah, I think we should too.
Yep. Who's it for?
All the people.
All the people. All right. That's about all I wanted to say right there.
All the people.
It's for all the people.
Nobody's discluded.
Good news, great joy.
Yep. So
it's actually one of my favorite verses of the Bible.
Good news, great joy for all the people.
I bring you good news of great joy. I bring you good tidings is the kind of the King James throwback kind of,
Good tidings of great joy.
You could sing that one.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Nah, too easy.
Oh, dang. So yeah, all the people. I just want to say it again. All the people. All right.
Okay.
For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find a baby wrapped in swaddling cloths and lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among those whom he is pleased. I got to stop you for a second and say, you got to picture that moment. The shepherds out in the field, just doing their work, not expecting anything. An angel appears, makes this pronouncement to them, which why shepherds, Jonathan? That's probably a question we might want to tackle. Why shepherds? And then a multitude of the heavenly host appear praising God. Had to be something to behold. I don't know if we give that enough attention sometimes.
Yeah, because that would freak you out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're talking about one angel shows up on the scene, and pretty much what are the first words every angel says?
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Why?
Because they're intimidating. They're scary.
Because the human in front of them is going, obviously afraid every single time.
Yeah.
So I believe angels are probably a sight to behold.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fear not. I'm one angel, and now here's a whole heavenly host of angels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Something to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so verse 15.
I'd probably pass out.
Oh, you'd catch me first because I'm passing out.
That's why they went to the shepherds, so they'd pass out and fall on the sheep.
Yeah, but
be soft.
Speaking of that, do you think there's significance that they went to the shepherds? Yeah, I heard you.
Just completely ignored that. It's probably better. Maybe. I mean, we can throw around conjecture and thoughts and things like that they went to those, shepherds. They were out there with the sheep instead of being home, all those kind of things. So they had a lowly job. They were kind of I don't want to say the outcasts, that kind of thing, but also oddly enough, David was a shepherd.
He was, yeah. And I also think about how, we're often referred to as sheep.
Yeah.
Jesus is a shepherd, and so I think about that. And then, like I said, they didn't go find the king. They didn't go find royalty.
Yeah, because he wanted to kill him.
Yeah. So they went and found the shepherds. I mean, it's when this stuff starts adding up and you think about the character of who God is and the character of Jesus, it just says a little bit more.
Let's go get people that most people wouldn't necessarily talk to.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's like if something huge happens in town, nobody's yelling, "Hey, go make sure the shepherds know."
They need to be the first to know.
Yeah. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, all those kind of things. And then David being a shepherd and the sheep. Yeah.
Many connections. Yeah.
Lots of things add together there.
So, verse 15, when the angels went away.
Hang on.
Oh, was there?
You
Did I jump in?
You said heavenly host praising God, but you didn't say what they were saying.
Oh, I thought I did. I'm pretty sure I did. But
okay, say it again.
Verse 14, glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among those whom he is pleased.
All right. I want to stop right there.
Okay, you want to
I want to stop right there. Because there's like some cross references in that verse that point back to Isaiah chapter 9. And check this out. I mean, this happened hundreds of years before.
All right.
Before the child was born, before Jesus was born. Chapter 9 of Isaiah starts out, For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be on his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, that peace phrase there. Of the increase of his government and of peace there will be no end, on the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it and uphold it with justice and with righteousness from this time forth and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will do this. It's kind of some prophetic things going on there, talking about this peace and what the angels were talking about there and those kind of things. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, verse 15. So when the angels went away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go over to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has made known to us." That's good reaction. The heavenly host just appeared. We should probably pay attention. And they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in a manger.
Okay, hang on. Mm-hmm. That's got to be a big manger. So it said they found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in a manger.
Snuggle time again.
Commas are important. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
And when they saw it, they made known the saying that has been told them concerning this child. And all who heard it wondered at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured up all these things, pondering them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen as it had been told them. And at the end of 8 days, when he was circumcised, he was called Jesus, the name given to the angel before he was conceived in the womb. And what I want to say about that, I just find it interesting, is Mary, what the shepherds came and shared was not new information. It was stuff she had already known.
Yeah.
But she didn't tell the shepherds that. She didn't have a conversation saying, oh, pretty soon. I don't think she probably told anybody. I would think as her and Joseph had private conversations about it. I don't think they were out telling a bunch of people.
Yeah, because you know what you sound like if that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah. So the shepherds received the same message.
I don't know what happened. I'm just pregnant and nothing happened.
That can't happen. Yeah. So the shepherds received the same message basically that they got, but they were different at a different place, different time. And so when they came and told Mary, it was just like a reiteration of what she had already been told. Like we were told this too. And
it's like Mary, just in case you forgot.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe that's where the song comes from.
Mary, did you know
that it was the shepherds singing? They were musicians too.
Hey, we could do that one. Or you could do that one.
No, come on.
Okay, so I do have a question.
Okay.
So we just read because the next thing is presenting him at the temple, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Obviously, this is missing something. The wise men.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yep, the gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Because every nativity scene we ever see has all the wise men right there, right?
Yep, they're there.
Yeah.
At the baby. Lying in the manger.
Lying.
They weren't lying. We've... they weren't there.
Don't tell me we've messed this up.
No, we haven't. Probably one of those things that tradition gets a little wrong. And they weren't there that night. Okay, they weren't there at the beginning. In fact, Jonathan,
or the next night.
How long was it before they?
Like 2 years.
Yeah, it was a significant amount of time before they showed up.
It was like 2 years later, and we don't know how many there were. Most likely more than 3.
Yeah.
You ever think 3 dudes start going across the desert carrying gold, frankincense, and myrrh?
Probably get robbed.
They'd have got mugged before they. Anyway.
Now,
So what? I mean, what is the story there with the wise men, though? I mean, what's the? Just tell it off the top of your head. Come on.
Oh, I'll probably mess it up, Jonathan. Basically, the king got news of, because this is around this time the king got news of the birth, and he ordered all babies. Was it boys, male children, to be put to death?
Yeah, and that's where, the wise men saw the star.
Yeah.
And so they started following the star.
Mm-hmm.
And so it led them there. They asked about it. Herod was the king, and they basically came to the king, which I'm kind of like, why would they do that? Why would you go to the king and say, where is he who is born king of the Jews?
Well, obviously they didn't understand it well enough, but maybe it's like a Godfather type thing. You respect, you have to respect. I don't know.
Or maybe they did get it and knew this isn't going to be an earthly king.
Mm-hmm.
This is more of a Davidic king, that kind of thing. I don't know. It just seems kind of odd. But yeah, so they went to Herod, and that's where I think that's where we more get the 2-year kind of thing, because Herod was like, kill all the boys 2 years and younger, based on when the wise men kind of told him all this had gone down.
That had been projected age,
Yeah,
If you cover this basis, we should be good.
Yeah.
And Joseph and Mary, they fleeting.
And they had moved up a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because because the wise men, the Bible actually, and you can find this in Matthew 2. It says when they went into the house, they saw the child and Mary's mother.
Yeah.
So they'd
weren't
gone
a manger
from
anymore.
no, away in a manger wasn't the yes, no. It was they'd gone into a house.
Now, okay, so does it really change the story? I mean, it does. We need to tell it truthfully, but I mean, I guess in the big picture, it doesn't change what happened that night. It doesn't change the fact that our Savior, Messiah, was born
No,
that night and was celebrated.
we just like to jumble things together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they did that because they needed more roles for people in Christmas plays. let's bump up the three wise men a couple of years and get them there so we can do it. So they did come. It was just a little bit time later. So
That's hilarious. Sure.
I'm just
Yeah, we need
spitballing.
more parts in this play.
Yeah.
We got too many kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. None of them
So-
want to be the donkey.
So I was a tortoise once in a play, Jonathan.
We don't want to hear about that.
So anyway, that's the Christmas story. I mean, that's Luke chapter 2. That's, an overview. That's the one that you hear all the time. That's the one people like to read. And maybe tonight you got a little bit different point of view of that story, or got some little bit more information that maybe you didn't have before. But I think it's time to land the plane, Jonathan.
Land it.
Land it. Okay, let me just say this. I'm going to keep it short and simple.
Well,
That's the purpose of
kind of the
landing.
part.
It's been a while.
The point.
We haven't landed in a few weeks. I don't know how to do this anymore. It's Christmas. Enjoy the holiday. Celebrate with your family, your friends. Exchange gifts. Have Christmas parties. Enjoy some good food. Do all that. Enjoy the holiday. Celebrate. But remember what we are celebrating. We are celebrating the birth of our Savior. Now, was his birthday really December 25th? Probably not. But we celebrate it. We take this day to recognize him. Don't take him out of Christmas. Make sure that you make him a priority. On Christmas morning, before we open a present, our tradition is we read this story and we talk about it. Start traditions like that. Start something to where your family and you make an effort to make Jesus, to make that celebration number one, because he truly is our Savior. He truly is the Messiah that came to us.
Yeah. And even we a lot of times say, slow down, enjoy the season, all those kind of things. And then as Christians, sometimes we say, and while you're doing that, do this Advent calendar, which has you pull out something every day and read a lot, and then go do something with your family every day and light candles and all these, it's like, man, even that's overwhelming,
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and like my son, he's got soccer practice like once a week right now because it's kind of between seasons. And I had to ask his coach, hey, he's not going to be there. And this was last Monday, I think, because like literally it's the only night where our entire family is going to kind of be together. And that's not even counting the one I have in college, where our entire family is going to be together on the same night for the entire evening.
Yeah.
For like the next 10 or 12 days, and a lot of it's great. I mean, there's Christmas parties and all those kind of things. So there's a lot of stuff that we're doing that is fun, that we're doing together as a family, that we just don't have any free time. But guys, even good things can not be the best thing sometimes. So, even if it's in doing good things with your family, sometimes we can take that even too far. And we just have to say, you know what? The best thing we could do with our family is to swing by somewhere, grab a pizza, go home, and rent a movie.
You bet.
And just not do anything.
Just be together.
But do it together.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You bet. Yeah, make the holiday special. Remember your Savior. Remember your family. Spend it together. Enjoy it. Don't let it overwhelm you. All right, that's the show. That's our Christmas episode. It's our last show for the year, and we're glad y'all listened in and checked it out, and we're so happy and so thankful that y'all are part of the show. We do have one more big special announcement, and we're going to keep it short and sweet. But before we get there, I just want to say next year we're excited about some of the things that are coming up. We're excited about we'll get back to regular shows in January, and we're going to try to line up some more guests next year and get some other people on here talking to you, and we hope that it works out and y'all enjoy it. We always love to hear from you, social media, any of those types of things. Send us an email at landtheplane@gmail.com and let us know some topics. One of the hardest things about doing a podcast is figuring out what we're going to talk about that night. So if you got things you'd like us to talk about, we would love to hear it, and we would love to hopefully put it in a future show. But Jonathan, you want to tell them about I think it's time for our special announcement.
Yeah, man.
We are on YouTube now.
Whoop, whoop.
We have taken the plunge to YouTube. So what that means is several of our shows that we've already done, including this one, are going to be on our YouTube channel, like a video format. Not us. It's just going to have a picture there.
No, goodness, no.
But you can listen to the show through YouTube. If that's easier, you can throw it up on your TV. You can, listen to it. If that's just easier for you, we're just trying to give you another avenue to watch. So head over to YouTube, search Land the Plane Podcast.
You got to add podcast on there.
Make sure you put podcast on there. You'll never find
There's
us.
a lot of Land the Plane videos
Unless you just want to
there.
watch planes landing.
Yes, a lot.
Make sure you put Land the Plane Podcast. Look for our logo. Look for our channel. It'll be there. Be on the lookout for that. Look out for my Christmas Carol coming to a social media
that's going to be on
site
YouTube too.
near you soon. All right. Hey, I think that's the show, Jonathan. I think we've been on here long enough, but it's our Christmas show. We got to go a little bit long on the Christmas show, so hope y'all stuck around for that special announcements. All right, so, hey, that's all I got.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.